back.
Festivities.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that must annoy people a lot. I'm going to stop doing it.
It doesn't annoy people. What annoys them usually is when you randomly clap.
Oh my god. Stop doing that. Hi. That was Bob clapping. I just made the weird noises with my mouth.
That was Tim.
Yeah.
He clapped with his mouth.
No, if I was that good, I'd start being a recording artist.
He's that guy from Police Academy.
Yeah. What was that guy's name?
I don't remember.
Me neither.
Police Academy man.
He has a name.
Steve Gutenberg.
No, yes, Steve Gutenberg. He did all that. No, he didn't. But
he was also in Spaceballs.
Yes, he was. He was in a lot of things. And
Michael Winslow, is it?
I think you're right. I think it is Michael Winslow. But we're not Michael Winslow. We're Precarious Pixels, and not some weird radio DJs that you've stumbled onto that make sound effects all the time.
Wow.
That's Bob. I'm Tim. And as always, we start weird, we finish weird, but the middle is pretty good. So it's been a while.
Sandwich.
I know. It's been a while since we recorded. But we had to talk to you guys because we've been watching a lot of stuff because we're snowed in, and playing a lot of stuff because we're snowed in. But not Al Snowden.
Nope.
No. So Bob has been playing Jedi Fallen Order.
I have. Where you play as not Al Snowden, but Cal Kestis.
Is that his name?
That's his name. His name is Cal Kestis.
Kestis.
I think they went for Kestis just because they were going to make it close to Dark Souls. And the thing that heals you in that game is the Estus flask.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going with it. I
think this probably is. I'm sure. Well, the guys who made this did they develop Dark Souls 2?
No, it's Respawn.
Okay. All right.
It's the guys that made Titanfall and Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
They're not.
They're not. Yeah, they're not these.
They're not Dark Souls team.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's really good.
Does it make you feel like a Jedi?
It makes you feel. I would say probably, yeah. It's the closest a game has come, and it has weird things you can do with it that you like. There's no way they're gonna let me do this in a Star Wars game, like drive an AT-AT.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like see Forrest Whitaker. He's in the game as Saw Gerrera.
Oh, what he played in Rogue One.
Yeah, I think he's a Clone Wars character too.
Yeah, he's like, I think they did that all at the same time. Like, he came out in Rogue One, and then that character was on like the Clone Wars cartoons, and they've I think consistently like used him throughout. And I think he does his own voice. So,
well, he definitely does in this game, and it's his likeness too.
Oh yeah, is it a younger version or is it like older version?
It looks like him.
Okay.
I mean, he might be playing younger, but Forrest Whitaker, to be honest, has looked like Forrest Whitaker does for 25 years.
Yeah, Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog, yeah.
Ghost Dog, man.
Ghost Dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I went there.
I believe it. I believe you went there. I was there. I was
Yeah.
along for the ride. But the platforming is straight out of Uncharted. I mean, to everything down to the reaching to the left if there's something he can grab onto, or to the right if there's something you can jump to. Like, it's straight out of Uncharted.
Oh, okay. That's nice. But it's not like it's none of those developers, right?
It's not, but then they also have wall running, which they did in Titanfall.
Oh, yeah, because I remember that in Titanfall.
And then they have the ropes, which, whatever, that's in Uncharted too. But it's awesome because when you're moving fast, it keeps going, which I think is the one thing Uncharted hasn't done. It's very, like, it's platforming, but a lot of it's disjointed. Like, you move around, you get to the place, and then you do the action.
Okay.
There's segments where I'm sliding down ice ramp, and it's sliding. Like, he slides like he's almost like skateboarding or snowboarding.
Okay.
And I've gone from there into wall running, directly into wall running.
Oh, wow.
Back to vines, back to sliding, and then landed into combat with a stormtrooper and a purge trooper, which are like one of the new enemy types.
Okay.
I don't
the
think
guys.
they've been
I think
in
they
the
were
movies.
with the staffs, right?
Dual,
Oh, okay.
like electro blade things,
Okay.
black and red suits.
Right.
I don't think they've been in the movies,
I don't think so either. They're pretty new.
but they're a lot of fun to fight. They're tough enemies, and then there's like boss battles, and the only problem with it is I think there'll still only be one game you can do it in. I think you can do it in Obi-Wan, where when you're fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and you attack human enemies with your lightsaber, you could cut them.
Okay.
This you cannot still. But monsters and animals,
Okay.
they slice in half.
I'm trying to think if they had that in the Force Unleashed. If you could cut
I don't think you could.
you couldn't cut people.
I don't think you could cut them in half.
Right.
Or anything like that. I don't think you could cut limbs off.
You couldn't cut. That was the thing. Yeah. There was. I think that you couldn't cut limbs off. But this one you can.
Not on people.
Not on people.
Animals.
Animals
monsters.
and I think you showed me a boss fight that
Well, he's like a mini boss.
Okay. And you could cut his arm off or something.
Yeah, I've only encountered 2 what you would call boss fights in the game, but there have been a few mini bosses.
Right.
And there's tons of exploration. It's weird how much there is. It's like a Metroidvania in one regard. So
Okay.
you can go to an area and you can do everything in that area for the objective.
Right.
But there's stuff you can't get to until you get different abilities. So you might go to an entirely different planet, and then 2 more planets, and then come back and you'll finally have enough abilities to maybe get through most of the stuff there.
Oh, okay.
It's strange.
Yeah.
But there's mini bosses that you wouldn't have even encountered unless you were exploring. I had one of those.
Oh, wow.
There's cool challenges you can do, and then you can customize your lightsaber down to, so like there's 5 parts you can customize, so you can do the color of the blade,
Right.
like the hilt, and then
Okay.
the bottom of it, the oh my gosh, the element,
Oh, okay.
and then the paint on the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
So like right now mine is copper, so it looks like orangey, and you saw the blade is orange.
The blade is orange.
But you can also customize like his cape, the stupid cloak he wears. They call it a poncho.
Okay.
The ship and BD-1. And BD-1, what he is he's a little droid.
Yeah, that climbs on your back like a monkey.
He does climb on your back, but he also calls out different things for you to scan. He helps you find objectives. Like he also can help with puzzle solving.
Oh, okay.
Because he can. I just got the ability on the planet I'm on to overcharge electronic stuff.
Oh, okay. Like force lightning, kind of like.
Sort of, but he just. It's almost like when R2-D2 sticks like the little prong into things
Oh, okay.
and short circuits them.
Gotcha.
He can do that, but he just supercharges it, and it keeps like it might start something up and keep it going.
Okay.
Or you can break electronics with it.
Gotcha.
But he's also your healing item.
Yeah, he gives you. Does he give you like Bacta injections or something?
He tosses he tosses a thing to you, but you can't do it while you're moving. So it's just like an Estus flask.
Oh, okay. So you have to stop. Okay.
You have to stop, and then you can start it and move a little bit, but you can't run.
Okay.
Just like Dark Souls. I mean, it's
That's interesting.
yeah.
It sounds like they took like the parts they really liked from certain games and kind of just like molded it all together into this one thing.
I would say so. It also has Deborah Wilson from Mad TV in it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she's an ex-Jedi. She was a Jedi, but then she was tortured because it takes place after episode 3.
Right.
So
He's been in hiding because he was a Padawan, right?
right, but so she was a Padawan of somebody else, and then she became a Jedi.
Oh, okay.
And her Padawan and some younglings apparently escaped, and she was tortured when people were trying to find him. And I don't know, or the Empire was trying to find him.
Right.
I don't know if she gave them up because I haven't gotten that far in the story.
Gotcha.
But it's crazy.
So, are you helping her try to find the Padawans?
No, I'm helping her try to find, try and rebuild the Jedi Order.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's literally what you're doing.
That's interesting because...
But she doesn't want to be a Jedi anymore.
But which is also because this is before the first Star Wars movie.
Right.
So
none of this comes to fruition. Like, there's no... Yeah.
So potentially you could be playing a character that dies at the end.
I'm imagining either he does or he has reason not to do it anymore. Whatever.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I'm betting maybe this is going to tie into something that's like... Because it seems like that they want to use their games now to tie into all their stuff. So I'm betting maybe this is going to lead into a different direction of story that maybe will follow this guy's on a different adventure that went away from where Luke and Leia and Han were going, kind of thing.
It could be.
So
I'd imagine this is not the only one that these guys want to make because it's really good.
Yeah.
And it reviewed really well, and it's selling well.
Okay.
Especially after Battlefront 1 and 2,
Yeah.
which sold well, but weren't so good. Bless you.
Thank you.
And now Battlefront 2, they just did an update 2 years later.
Yeah.
Where they're including all of the Episode 9 stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just adding that in for free. And they're like doing all sorts of crazy updates to that game.
Okay. I think it was because they had poor reception, maybe?
At launch, but they've apparently been improving it over time where it's good now.
Okay. And I'm sure that's from Daddy Disney. Because they're like, listen, we bought this for a lot of money. We wanted to keep going for a lot longer. So you better fix this now. Mickey is not happy.
Well, he wasn't. I mean, they almost killed the gaming brand.
Yeah. Which is bad.
It's really bad because Disney shut down their interactive studios.
Right.
And so now they're relying on third parties, and they should have gone with, in my opinion, a different trusted name than EA.
Yeah.
But they went with EA, and then 2 games came out, and now this one.
Right.
2 games got shut down.
Yes.
Mid build. So who knows? Like, if they can continue games like this, they'll be fine. And if they're not going to kill Battlefront.
No.
So what they need to do is Battlefront 3 needs to be brilliant.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know.
And no loot crates. Don't even think of...
Don't think about monetizing it. Think about making a great game at $60 and people will buy it.
Yeah. And then if you want to work in DLC that's paid for, you can do it that way. Or costume changes or like other stuff.
I'll see how it works out, but maybe do what Call of Duty did.
Mm.
So they don't have a season pass this year.
Right.
They have... It started... I hate to date this.
Right.
But it started yesterday, the first one.
Right.
And I don't know what it costs because I'm not going to pay for it probably. But they have a battle pass just like Fortnite. So now the game will have been out a month and a week. And now they put out their first battle pass, which I think is probably a season.
Gotcha.
It makes sense. And you can earn customization stuff, but you can do it for free or you can pay for it.
Okay.
I don't think you should pay for it.
Yeah.
Unless it's good, unless it gives you something that you really want. Like, I would want to dress as Willem Dafoe in that game, because why not?
Of course.
I feel like he was the one guy who should have been in one of them. He's just crazy enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's not doing much, right?
Is he? Yeah,
well, he did that Lighthouse movie.
Yeah, with Twilight.
Oh, was that guy?
Isn't it him in Twilight?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think he was in it. I didn't know
it's
he was.
him in Batman. As sad as that is to say.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll reserve judgment until like I actually see him, because let's face it, we had Ben Affleck.
We did, and he worked out well.
So well.
Movies weren't.
Yes.
Very good, but I thought Ben Affleck did a good job.
I didn't think Ben Affleck was the problem. The movies that he was in were the problem.
Also, apparently, people are now clamoring for the Snyder Cut.
Which I'm just like, why?
Why? You don't want to know what he did?
Yeah, I watched a couple of things, and I follow a couple of storyboard artists that kind of showed some of the stuff that he did, and I was just like, all right, it wouldn't have. I don't think it would have made the movie that much different.
But why limit themselves like, DC has to be saying, or Warner Brothers, we'll call it Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
I can make more money on this movie that didn't do so well. It did pretty well.
It did pretty well.
What could it hurt?
Honestly, what they probably should do is, I guess, just make it available for download.
Just make it available for purchase in any way. Download, digital, put it on a disc.
Yeah.
It can't cost that much.
Yeah, like to put it out digitally, I don't think would cost that much. I mean, there are fees, of course, with doing that, but I think it would offset enough.
They don't even need to make it that bad. Put it on their streaming service.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So then you don't pay anybody.
I mean, they could. I mean, eventually they could do that. But we'll see. We'll see. But so far, Jedi Fallen Order.
It's great.
You've been loving it?
It's great. Yeah, there's I haven't encountered too much of the BS in terms of like game design. It's pretty good. I found like one pretty awesome glitch where I was like falling through a ramp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was just messing around with it.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you the video later. It's just me trying to like break the game. But other than that, it seems pretty polished. I found my feet were just going through, and I was like, I wonder if I could warp through the world.
And you did?
No, I didn't. I had to give up. I spent like 2 minutes trying to just do it.
Nope.
Kept falling off. Because, whatever.
Yeah, it happens in games sometimes.
Yeah, it's fun.
Somebody, like a tester, misses it or something, you know.
Well, why would they think somebody's going to mess with this?
Exactly. Alright, so, since, you know, well, actually, this is just this week, we are going to date ourselves a bit, but a lot of trailers have come out. I just showed Bob a new trailer for a Vin Diesel movie called Vin Diesel's Bloodshot, which I was just like, you just couldn't call it Bloodshot? They had to go, listen, we paid a lot of money for this guy. It's Vin Diesel's Bloodshot now.
Vin Diesel's Street Sharks.
Oh my god, I would love it if they had like a weird crossover with Street Sharks.
Where he doesn't fully understand the Street Sharks, but he wants to talk about them?
Yeah.
I'd watch that movie.
I would totally watch that movie. But this Bloodshot movie, really interesting. It does kind of go off the comics, where it's like the story basically. I think it was 80s or 90s when this Bloodshot came out. But the character basically is a soldier who gets these nanobots injected into him, and they pretty much, you know, cause him to never die. He's like unkillable now, kind of like a Wolverine. Mm-hmm. But he has no memory of his past, and he works for this what he thinks is a good government agency, but he's not really. We find out maybe not, which is kind of what this story is. It seems like he was a soldier. He died in some accident or something, or maybe he was killed, or maybe his wife was killed.
It looks like he and his wife were murdered.
Yeah, but then we find out, like, he goes off and he goes to try to kill the guys who did it, but then it's a bigger reveal that, oh, that's what we wanted him to do. We've been implanting memories of this person being killed. So he might not even have a wife. That whole thing, like him going off to avenge his wife, that could all just be made up backstory for him.
You think?
Could be. I don't know. But it seems interesting. The characters that he's fighting in there, at first it starts off with normal people, just regular guns and shooting and stuff, but then we've got people with robotic arms and crazy, I'm sure, cyborgs and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, just perfectly normal.
Yeah.
An average day for Vin Diesel.
Yeah, so this came out in 2001, and so yeah, I'm betting it's a little bit like slightly future society. And this is Valiant's first movie. They've been trying to do this for a while to get people interested in their stuff. I remember like a few Comic-Cons ago, they did a fake trailer for a Valiant Universe TV show or movie or something like that, where they had, I think, Bloodshot and Ninjak Ninja K. I always get that wrong. It looks like, the way the name is, it looks like it's Ninjak, but it's actually Ninja K. It's weird.
What does he do?
He is an assassin.
Makes sense.
And he's a ninja.
Is he a ninja assassin?
He is.
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie. A lot of fun, that movie. But there's, what's the other? Exo Man of War, who's kind of like their Iron Man. But also, I think that one might be coming out too. Like, they've been working on that one as well. But this is like their first really big one with Vin Diesel. I mean, and it looks like they spent a ton of money on it. I'm hoping it does well. So we get a bunch of these.
Yeah.
More Vin Diesel movies.
There's pretty good CG in it.
There is.
Looks R-rated.
Very
Maybe.
R-rated.
Maybe. That could be PG-13.
Blowing off people's arms and stuff.
Could be.
You think?
Yeah. They might not go for it. It's your first one. Do you want to risk minimizing your audience?
It's true, but then maybe they're betting on like the Deadpool type of thing where these are the people that are going to go for it.
Deadpool had the name.
It's true.
And it had Ryan Reynolds. No offense to Vin Diesel.
No offense to Vin Diesel, but Vin Diesel, I mean, think about it.
He makes a lot of money in Fast and the Furious.
Yes, and he's internationally known. I mean, let's face it. Fast and Furious is huge.
People do know him all over the world.
Triple X, come on. Xander Cage returns.
Yeah, the return of Xander Cage, I know.
And Pitch Black, I mean...
It had Ruby Rod in it, the third one.
That's right.
I remember. It's Ruby Rod.
Ruby Rod. Oh, I love that movie.
Fifth Element, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That movie still holds up.
It does.
Yeah.
No, I am a meat popsicle, right?
Yes.
Slime.
I like your hat.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie. We're just reminiscing now about The Fifth Element. But,
we should be, because Mila Jovovich, super awesome female action star, was in The Fifth Element. And what else has a super awesome female action star in it, Tim?
I don't know, Bob.
That's a segue.
Yes, it's a good one, too. I just totally...
Could it be maybe a Russian female action star?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. But I do know about Scarlett Johansson.
Just going for it.
Yeah.
Starring in what, Tim?
The Black Widow movie.
Oh!
5 years too late. No, it's...
How long did it... They said they were making that forever ago.
Forever ago. And honestly, I'm not sure why they waited so long.
I'm really not sure now.
Yeah, especially when the story seems to be taking place after, in the timeline anyways, after Civil War.
Yeah.
So...
Is it? Yeah, I guess.
So, spoilers if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, but ScarJo dies willingly.
Yeah, she sacrifices herself.
Yeah.
Do you think, based on that... Well, we should talk about what this movie is first.
Yeah. This is definitely an espionage movie, and we're going to talk about another espionage movie in a minute, but definitely more of like her backstory of her training in the Red Room, the Russian superhero initiative, whatever that was at the time, and the fact you get to meet her sister, the other Black Widow. Technically, there's probably, I'm sure, dozens of Black Widows.
Yeah, because it wasn't the girl in Captain America that comes after him? Oh no, she was good, right?
Which one?
I'm confusing it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There was like a Black Widow character on... I'm sorry, Agent Carter.
Agent Carter. She was a Black Widow.
Okay.
Yeah, she was, like, I think they reference, like, that she was a Black Widow. In fact, I think they even go to one of the Black Widow training camps in Russia.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it seems like it's about maybe her trying to take down the Red Room. Maybe, like, there's probably new agents being trained and she wants to shut down that program. And I guess, like, it's going to be her sister. I can't think of his name.
David Harbour.
David Harbour.
Hellboy.
From Stranger Things. He's in all the fandom stuff.
I love that you're unwilling to call him Hellboy. That's how...
Nope.
That's how you feel about it.
I have nothing against him. And... I haven't really watched that movie. I've seen parts of it.
He did look good in the suit. He looked
Not
fine.
saying he didn't look good in the suit, but I'm sorry, Ron Perlman.
They definitely didn't make him look like they were trying to cover up some of his heft.
Yes.
with the prosthetics.
Which is fine. I don't care about any of that. I was just more care that they should have made a better movie.
Yeah, well, that's not important to them.
Yeah. And it's really weird. They stuck all the monsters from Hellboy in there, but none of the story from Hellboy in there, which I thought was strange. So that's the thing.
Hellboy movie actually makes Tim upset.
Yes.
So
the new one.
Continue it. Yeah, not the originals.
Not the originals. They were great. I liked them. But yeah, Black Widow. So he's in it. I think playing either. I think it's Crimson Avenger, or he's Crimson Dynamo. I think Dynamo was like their version of Iron Man. Crimson Avenger, I think, was their version of Captain America.
Or the guy from The Boys.
Or the guy from The Boys. Oh man. Oh, The Boys.
Because there's a scene in this that is straight out of that, where he doesn't, like, the suit doesn't quite fit him right.
Yeah.
He's got the big dumb beard hanging out the bottom of it. It's straight out of The Boys.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's whatever.
But yeah. And it seems like it's going to be more... I think the villain in this is Taskmaster, which explains why he's got like a Hawkeye bow. Because that's what Taskmaster's whole thing was. I fight like all the Avengers, basically. So he can fight like, you know...
So I looked it up, and I am proving the point to Tim right now.
Absolutely. No, I lost my train of thought. He can fight like Captain America. He can fight like Black Widow. He can fight like Hawkeye. So, but of course, none of the powered heroes. But I think that's kind of what they're going for with this. Is Taskmaster's maybe restarted the Red Room or something along those lines, and Black Widow's going to shut it down. But also seems like what's his name from the Hulk movies?
William Hurt.
William Hurt, because this is after
Civil War.
Civil War. It's all heroes are you either have to register or you're arrested kind of thing. And she sided with Cap, and she's been on the run, so this is probably her adventure before she goes and meets up with Cap again.
It does seem like he looked a little bit CG too. To look younger, yeah.
I don't see why.
Shot. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Unless it's like a flashback scene to...
Maybe it's how she ends up joining?
Could be.
I don't know. Now I'm just on the lookout for it ever since I started that movie.
Yeah. But yeah, looks pretty good. It looks like they spent some money on it. There's some big effects going on, so it's definitely a Marvel movie, and I always liked her character, so...
It is, and it was almost for a while there. I got this.
Yeah.
For a while there, it was almost the first female-led Marvel superhero movie, but there was another one of those that ended up coming out first. It was called Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Speaking of Captain Marvel, she had a friend, right?
Yes.
Her best friend, who they didn't develop that at all. And her best friend's in another movie coming out that we saw a trailer for. Tim, what was it?
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, man, you were like really teamed up.
That's a reaching segue.
So, another espionage movie, No Time to Die.
Yes, she's playing a 00 agent.
Yeah, I think they maybe Agent Jamaica or something like that.
That might be racist.
No, I think
that's her name?
That might actually
Jamaica Bond.
I don't know. Not Jamaica Bond, but a 00.
That's her name.
Maybe that's like her code name.
Jamaica me crazy.
I'm trying. Did Ian Fleming was there a character named Jamaica?
Not that I know of, but you never know.
There were actually doesn't he had one of his isn't like his like compound or whatever in Jamaica? Like
Bonds?
The Ian Fleming's.
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
I think he had like a big he really loved Jamaica or something along those lines.
Well, the Dr. No is like part of it's in Jamaica.
Okay.
Right? They're in the islands.
Yeah, I think so.
But is Crab Key off of the coast of Jamaica? I think it might be.
Maybe. I don't know. But that could be why maybe they use that name. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But looks great. Daniel Craig looks like he got in some crazy shape for this too.
Well, he has to.
Like the last Bond, he looked like he was in good shape, but this one I think he even looks better.
He's ready to kill somebody.
And what's his name is back too.
Christoph Waltz.
I know, and he's playing always the crazy Christoph Waltz.
That's who he is.
It is, which I love it. He's the best. And what?
He is the best.
He is the best. But he is not the main villain of this.
No, well, he's one of them.
One of them, but it seems like they've had him locked up for a while because he had his lazy eye.
He did.
Yeah,
He did
but not. But he
they
was.
seem to show him later.
Yeah.
With the burns. That's him, right?
No.
Doesn't he have those burns?
No. That's
he just has the eye.
Yeah, and I think the burns are on the Mr. Robot.
Well, they didn't show that earlier. Maybe he gets the burns during the movie.
That could be. But Freddie Mercury himself seems to be some weird villain with a kabuki mask. I'm not sure what that's all about, but sure. And I guess Bond is betrayed by what was her name?
His wife.
Is it his wife?
I think that's what they're going for. I think that's his wife.
So it's like On Her Majesty's Secret Service kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense because they're trying to bring back what's his name? Oh my gosh, Christoph Waltz's character. Blofeld.
Right.
And they're trying to do that.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah, Dr. Evil himself.
That's right. It'd be amazing if instead of Christoph Waltz, it was just Mike Myers. They're like, "Hello, Mr. Bond."
That would be brilliant.
I know.
If he had to fight Mini-Me.
He would. And it was like, man, they really went off the rails on this one. They were just throwing everything at the wall this time. But I have to say, the action sequence they've showed look great. And the story is, like, intriguing. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to know what happened. And Bond doing what he always does. Jump off bridges.
Jumping off bridges.
Always jumping off bridges.
Riding motorcycles up staircases.
That's
just
right.
like Bond.
That's right. And this time he finally has the car, which I think he just got in the last movie. The Aston Martin.
He didn't have... I thought he had an Aston Martin in Skyfall?
I don't think so.
Doesn't he drive up in it?
I don't think it's the Aston Martin that he had in the first movie.
Oh, okay.
So this is like the original Aston Martin that I think Sean Connery had. I don't think so. I don't think it was.
Sean Connery didn't get it till Goldfinger.
Right. I think that's the Goldfinger one he gets now.
I thought he had that in Skyfall. I thought that's what was outside the place.
I don't think so. I think that was a different Aston Martin. But now I'm not sure. Now I don't know. I thought this was the first time he had it. Maybe I'm wrong. Inspector.
To be continued, folks.
We'll find out later. Send us a message if you know.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Marie Rambeau was her name in Captain Marvel. It was bugging me because I was
Marie Lambeau.
It's Rambeau.
Rambeau. She's from New Orleans.
It's Rambeau. I don't care how.
It's not Rambo.
How do you spell
Rambeau. Marie Lambeau.
It's an R though. There's no L. You're saying Lambo.
I'm not saying Lambo.
It's not a car. It's Marie Rambeau.
Rambo.
00 Rambo. That would be a good mashup.
Yeah. And speaking of 00s, you saw Daniel Craig in a different movie.
I did. I saw him play a detective who had a New Orleans accent, actually.
Yeah. So, I bet he could say Rambo correctly.
I bet you he could. He'd say Rambo.
No.
Then he'd say, I'm going to cut your heart out.
So, the premise of this seems like there was a murder I'm guessing at a birthday party?
Yes. So I'm gonna break down the premise for Knives Out.
And Captain America's there to solve it.
Well,
with James Bond.
No.
No.
Captain America is not there to solve it.
I know.
So actually, you would be surprised to know that in all of the trailers, they do not feature the main character of this movie.
Oh, really?
I don't think she's featured once.
Toni Collette?
Nope. Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz.
Christopher Plummer.
Wow, Christoph Waltz.
Christopher Plummer's nurse, the young Latina girl, is not shown once in these trailers, to my knowledge. And she's the main character of this movie.
Really?
Yes.
Why is she the main character?
Well, here's the plot.
All right.
So, the movie opens with her getting breakfast for Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
That's what she does, I guess.
Okay.
Brings it upstairs and finds his dead body. His throat has been cut.
Okay.
He's laying down on a bed. And she drops the food. And then it cuts to 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Or 2 days later. I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
I think it actually is 2 weeks. And it's she gets a phone call that she has to go back. She lives with her mother, who's undocumented. Very important. Okay. And her sister. Okay. And she gets a phone call that she has to go back. The police need to talk to her. And she gets that phone call, I believe, from... oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Boardwalk Empire, the FBI agent.
Oh god, I can't remember his name either.
Right?
Yeah.
But him.
Yes.
Okay. And then as they go through, each character is giving their interpretation of what happened to two detectives, and behind them is a private detective who's Daniel Craig.
Right.
It's got to be 2 days later. It can't be 2 weeks.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Only because he got a letter in the mail asking him to. You find out later. He got a letter anonymous to investigate the murder of Christopher Plummer.
The private detective who is Daniel Craig.
Yes, Daniel Craig is the private detective, and he's famous. He's basically Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Basically. So, they're interrogating each of the family members, and they all have something to hide. Like Toni Collette is...
And spoilers if you haven't seen this movie.
Right. I'm not going to spoil it too much because I don't want to ruin the ending.
Okay.
But Toni Collette is his daughter, and she has a makeup business, but she's constantly... Like, it's not making any money, and she keeps... Everybody's living off Christopher Plummer's books in different ways. Okay.
So, and he was a writer, a famous writer.
Yes.
Okay.
One daughter is... one daughter's Toni Collette. Mm-hmm. Her husband is cheating on her. Okay. And he's found that out, and each of them he confronts at his birthday party in a different way, and he's like, I'm cutting you off.
Oh, okay.
Each of them.
Okay.
So, including Captain America.
Okay. Is he his son?
He's his grandson.
Oh, okay.
He is Toni Collette's kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. They don't have that much of an age difference.
I think they do. She's older than she looks.
Well, he's in his 40s.
Ah, well, maybe not.
Okay. He looks really young anyways.
It's her and... I forget who her husband is. It's another famous guy. Why am I blanking? I just watched this movie. I don't know. But
it's called The Overload of Information.
It is. There's so much going on right now. I have to look up the cast while we're talking. But each of them is getting interrogated, and he's like clearly onto something more, but you don't really. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not Toni Collette's son. Okay. He's Jamie Lee Curtis's son.
Gotcha. That makes more sense to me. I'm just like, okay.
And Don Johnson.
Okay.
Michael Shannon. I get it.
And Michael Shannon, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so what's really going on is, it turns out, is you find out a half an hour into this movie, and probably not even that far, that this girl, the nurse,
right,
can't tell a lie, because if she lies, she throws up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's... okay.
So, the night of... And this is not a spoiler at all for what happens in this movie. This is just a half an hour into this movie. It's very important that you know that. And the movie is probably over 2 hours. The night that he dies, they're playing a game. They play this... it's like Chinese checkers every night, but it's not. It's a different game.
Okay.
and she always beats Christopher Plummer. The nurse and him, I should say.
Right.
And he fakes getting outraged by it because like he's a bad loser, and he just flips the thing.
Okay.
So she goes to pick everything up, and then she's going to give him his meds. And he's supposed to get a certain dose of, I think it's diabetes medicine, and then a certain dose of morphine for like he has some sort of injury he just had.
Okay.
And she ends up giving him the wrong dose of, like, she gives him the huge amount of morphine.
Oh,
and
okay.
he finds out he's going to die, so she's reaching through her bag trying to find, like, she has something in there that's going to stop it, and it's not there. She can't find it anywhere.
Okay.
And he's like, hold on. Let's think about this calmly. You need to get out of here. The ambulance won't make it here in time. Think about how, like, he's already got this, like, planned out in his head. Like, he's thinking about it.
Okay.
Because that's what he does for a living. Like, he writes murders and how to solve them.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you need to get out of here, cover your tracks, do this. And basically, he covers up her accidental murder of him.
Okay. But then somebody actually slits his throat.
No, he does.
Oh, okay.
He slits his throat.
So then that solves it. Then it's...
There's more.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell you more.
Okay.
The point is, because Daniel Craig knows she can't tell a lie.
Right.
She has walked in... I'm sorry, I should go back. She walks in just in time to find him. He has her leave the building.
Right.
And then come back. But she walks back into the room just in time to see him cut himself, like cut his throat.
Oh, okay.
So she witnesses, she knows he killed himself.
Right.
And Daniel Craig knows she can't lie.
Right.
So he brings her on to help with the investigation. So she's trying to cover up clues to the fact that she was there as she finds them and as he finds them. It's a pretty good, like, edge of your seat, and everybody's, like, really funny. Everybody's a scumbag.
Right.
In a different way. Like, they're all rich snobs who find out that they're not going to be rich for long because at the will reading, he gives all of his money to her. Like, Christopher Plummer gives all his money to the nurse.
Okay.
Because all his kids are awful.
Yeah.
And his grandkids are awful.
Okay.
This one character, Meg, who's one of the granddaughters, is like this super ridiculous liberal nutjob who just wants to keep going for different... Like, she's going to school for courses that'll never get her anywhere, but she doesn't have any interest in helping anybody, and she smokes pot in the place.
Okay.
And his grandson is the opposite, where he's super right-wing. Like, she keeps calling him a Nazi. And he doesn't look away from his phone every time they're interacting.
Okay.
But it's just... And then Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Ransom is his name.
Nice.
That's, like, one of the only memorable names. The other ones are, like, Meg and Linda. But, like, his name, Ransom, is just, like... Because his grandfather was a crime novelist.
Okay. And so is Knives Out the name of his book series or something? No. What is the Knives... Like, why is there, like... I remember seeing in the trailer, why is there, like, a chair that has, like, knives?
That's his chair in his study.
He just has that there.
He just has... And one of the comments he makes earlier is like, with this family or whatever, it's impossible to tell the difference between when they have a real knife out and a prop knife out.
Wow.
So that's where Knives Out comes from. And Rian Johnson, great writer, entertaining throughout. Like, the movie's really good. It's not a ton of action, but it doesn't matter.
Because you're interested in what the actual story is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of speaks to his strengths. Like, his stuff has always been like that.
Yeah, and Daniel Craig is great as this detective, because you're never... Like, he's... I guess the detective trying to play Columbo.
Right.
But, like, Columbo, where Columbo acts stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
he'll be like, oh, just one more thing. Like, yeah. I like that. I always like that version of Columbo.
And then, if you can scroll to the right, there's some really good, like, character actors you wouldn't even have believed that you'd see in 2019. For instance, Frank Oz. Yoda's
Oh.
in this movie.
What was Frank Oz in this?
I don't even remember. I think he was the Will Reader.
Okay. And who does Ricky Lingham play?
I don't think she's in it for very long. She
Okay.
might be one of the other people that works in the house. I
Okay.
don't even remember seeing her, actually. But I know who she is.
Yeah.
She's important. Fran is the maid.
Okay, so she plays the maid that takes care of him?
Not
no.
the nurse.
Not
the
the
nurse, if you scroll backwards, is her.
Okay.
The maid is somebody else who works in the house, but
Okay.
she finds out and is essentially blackmailing the nurse.
Oh, finds out that like her mother's undocumented.
No,
Finds
Not
out,
that.
finds out that she
finds out
that she may
that,
accidentally
that
switched the meds.
the med bag was still there, and
Right.
for whatever reason she's blackmailing her. But there's some really good stuff going on in this movie.
Well, I'm betting the fact that the meds got screwed up was not her fault. I'm betting that that's probably, not having seen this, I'm betting that it was murder. And I'm sure Daniel Craig was like, "Oh, no, it was actual murder, and it's one of you that did it." And I'm sure there's going to be, is there one of those great like exposition scenes at the end?
Yeah,
he
I
kinda,
mean,
like,
it's
lays
a
it all
classic.
out?
It's a classic murder mystery.
Yeah, I like that.
But
You haven't seen too many of those lately, other than like
Murder on the Orient
Nile.
Express.
Yeah, on the Orient Express. And I think they're doing another one. They're doing
They are.
Murder on the Nile.
But everybody in this does a great job. Like, even down to this guy who used to be on, was he on The Wire?
I forget. I saw him in Death Note
Yeah, was he in Death Note?
with Willem Dafoe.
Tim's favorite movie of the year.
That's right.
I don't even know if it came out this year. Probably
No,
not.
it's been a few years.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to see a good movie and you haven't seen a Rian Johnson film other than Star Wars: The Last Jedi,
Which you should watch other Rian Johnson movies. They're Brick, I mean, amazing.
Brick, Looper's
Yeah.
great. Brothers Bloom is probably one of his best.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
That movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
Rachel Weisz is in it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And
Adrian Brody and the Hulk.
the Hulk, yes. But yeah, his movies are great, and honestly, I think people just, rag on him a little too hard on The Last Jedi. I mean,
I feel like a lot of that wasn't under his control.
I mean, I'm sure they let him do his thing a little bit, but I also think that there is a limit to what you can do in a Star Wars movie. Because, I mean, look what happened with Solo. I think a lot of what people liked about Solo were the things that were actually put in there by the guys who did the Lego movie, the guys who did Spider-Verse and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ron Howard is a safe bet, I guess.
Yeah.
But not for that movie.
Yeah. But
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And now you're telling me his daughter is directing an episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, well, she did. The 4th episode. Maybe next week we'll talk some more about The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of Star Wars time now. It is upon us.
But we have to talk about some other stuff next week. Like
Yeah.
Klaus.
Nothing related to Grant Morrison and Dan Morrow's book, where Santa Claus fights Krampus. That's right.
I believe it.
It's amazing. And that's just the first chapter. But yeah, we'll talk about Netflix's Klaus, which is also a good movie and a very good Christmas Santa Claus-y kind of movie. A lot of fun. Good stuff.
I believe it. There's a lot to unwrap there.
Yeah.
Get it?
Oh, man. It's horrible. No, we're never going to talk about it because just for that.
No, I'm gonna have to watch it. It's I'm sure it's great.
But yeah, so we'll be talking about that stuff probably next week. Hopefully, if I get back from Las Vegas, okay. But we'll talk about that soon. So until next time, for Precarious Pixels, you can find our stuff. I just totally blanked on how we ended. Like I said, we finish weird, we start weird. Middle's pretty good.
Yeah, it's worth a listen.
That's right. So, you can do it #PrecariousPixels if you want to message us or anything. You can find us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher. You can also find us on YouTube. And send us a message, rate us, review us. We'd love to hear from you. And, create, do your stuff. And we'll talk to you next week. And you can find Bob. Oh, man, I'm really messing up this week.
I'm on Instagram at BobJMartin, MARTON. And I'm on Twitter at Martin_Bob. Tim is on
Instagram. And you can find me at Tim Martinek. And we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye!
To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, MARTON_BOB, on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.